Hi, this is JP Metz, and you wanted a piece of my advice, so here it is. Now, if you have any questions and you need advice, you can leave me a comment. Go ahead, ask, and you can ask me anywhere on social media. All my links are down below, and if you want to remain anonymous, just let me know, and I'll say you're anonymous. So today's question comes from Chantel on Facebook, though the reason why I'm answering, I got so many questions that are similar than this. It's regarding anxiety, okay? This is about anxiety and freaking out, all right? And Chantel says, I'm a 15-year-old girl who has always struggled with anxiety. However, the past 2 months it's become especially crippling as it's now focused on my health. I've diagnosed myself with so many illnesses. It's a miracle I'm still alive. However, there is absolutely no medical reason to believe that I'm sick. I do realize you are not a doctor. She's right, I'm not. But do you have any advice on how I can conquer the beast that is anxiety? Thank you. Chantel, you're right. I am not a doctor. I am not a counselor. I'm not any kind of professional of that sort. So bear that in mind. You may need to consult a professional. Maybe they can help you deal with anxiety. But I feel like when you haven't, I've had problems with anxiety too, okay? I think we all do. And why do we all have problems with anxiety? Well, it's because there's a lot of things that are difficult to come to terms with. One of them is nothing's guaranteed. Nope. I mean, you can pick the right career and get an awesome job. Guess what? You can be laid off the next day. Hey, you can randomly get some crazy disease. Absolutely. Hey, you're 15. I didn't know when I was 15 that I was going to end up with MS. But you don't sit and fret about that. You don't sit and fret because there's no point. I mean, your house could burn down tonight. You could, whatever, are some other random things that can happen at any time. I don't know, but the point, I think the key to overcoming anxiety, I mean, I don't know, because I still have anxiety. It's not like no one ever gets anxiety ever, but the key when you're feeling anxious is realizing that you don't have control over everything. In fact, you don't have control over most things that happen to you. They just happen. I mean, is that fair? Well, look, there's been entire books, religions, all sorts of things that people come up with to come to terms with this fact. That we're not in control of what happens. And it's a tough thing to grasp. And do I have any tips? Well, first of all, you could not be on WebMD Googling all sorts of, or whatever, looking up all sorts of illnesses, wondering if you might have it or if you will have it. Or I do know, like I said, when I was 15, I had absolutely no indication that I would have MS. Nope. When I was 15, I was heavy. I had a lot of doctors tell me I was heavy, tell me that it was problematic, but weight doesn't have anything to do with forming a neurological disease like that. I mean, you get my point there. So what's helpful is if you don't focus on things that give you anxiety. I mean, if you're nervous about getting an illness, then like I said, don't be Googling that stuff. Go on Tumblr looking up stuff that doesn't give you anxiety. Like, I like to look at birds. Yeah, like parrots and stuff. It's like my thing. I'll go on YouTube or Tumblr or whatever, and I'll look at parrots for hours because they're soothing and they're sweet and, I don't know, they're just cool. And they don't give me anxiety. So, but it sounds like for you, getting an illness gives you anxiety. So stop looking them up. You know, it's not worth it because you just don't know what's going to happen at all. So the best thing that you can do is come to terms with that. You know, I like to say that one of my hacks for beating anxiety, let's say something unexpected happens, I go ahead and I imagine the worst case scenario. I just go ahead and do it because it just kind of helps ease my mind. I know that that worst case scenario is probably not going to happen. It just kind of makes me feel a little better. And then you can think, when you're in a situation like that, or thinking of a situation like that, think, what can I do? There's only going to be so much that you're going to be able to do in a stressful situation. So you're better off focusing on solutions and what you can do, because the things that you can't do anything about, it's not worth stressing about. You know, like I said, you might get a job and then get laid off the next day, but what are you going to do? Spend your years that you're at that job worrying that you might get laid off tomorrow? That's not going to... You see, stressing yourself out like that has its own whole host of problems. There's an excellent documentary on Netflix about what stress does to the body, and I know firsthand, having MS, that one of the things that really can cause an MS relapse is stress, because stress causes real physical things to happen in our body. So we're better off not stressing about things we don't have to stress about, because there's nothing we can do about them. You know, if you're in a situation, there's something you can do about it, then yeah, think about that. You know, you can think, okay, let me think about, I can do this, so let me do this. So that's helpful, but it's not worth it fretting about things you can't do anything about. Yes, you're right, you might get some terrible disease when you're older, and in fact, it's kind of likely you will, because we're mortal. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen when we get older, whatever. So don't stress. You can't do anything about it, so don't stress. And that's it. So if any of you guys need any advice, then please let me know. Leave a comment. Ask me on my Twitter, on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook or Tumblr. All the links are down below. So that's all. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.